Were you in a hardcore raiding guild during Burning Crusade? Towards the end of it, yeah. I was in a hardcore raiding guild at the beginning of Burning Crusade too, but they were so bad that I really can't call them hardcore. They were so fucking bad that I actually had a midlife crisis. Oh, a mid-WoW crisis. Fuck. I had a mid-WoW crisis because of that guild. So here's what happened. I was in my computer maintenance class back in high school, and there was this kid that looked like a fucking idiot, and he was telling me that he played WoW too, and he was saying that his guild was in Black Temple. And I had to tell this kid that I thought was a fucking loser that I couldn't even get through Karazhan, and we couldn't even get into Gruul's lair because the people in my guild were too fucking stupid. I went home that night. I looked that guy up in Armory. I'm like, this kid's terrible. He doesn't, like, I can be so far above this kid. You know, because, like, he was in a computer class. The kid couldn't even figure out how to make a fucking Ethernet cord. He's a dumbass, right? So that gave me a completely different perspective on life, right? I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? This is not me. This is not what I'm about. And I sat down, and I started getting better at the game, and I started making friends. I started networking. Okay, I started networking. GGX gang, by the way, I started networking. And a couple months later, I got invited to the best guild on the server. And a couple months after that, I got invited to the raid for the best guild on the server. And I participated in the first Brutalis pre-nerf kill that guild ever had. And then I became part of the raiding team, and I went with them into ICC, or sorry, not ICC, Wrath of the Lich King, and I got Immortal with them. I got Black Proto Drakes with them. I was going big dick, man. And it was all that one thing. Like, honestly, there have been so many things in my life. Thelmus was fun. Fuck that fight. There have been so many things in my life that I've been motivated by seeing somebody that I think is stupid succeeding more than me. Right? Like, if I see somebody who's just like an absolute fucking dipshit that's doing better than I am, I think to myself, you're better than this. You're better than him. You can do better than that. And I put my dick to the fucking anvil and I start hammering. That's right. There's so many things in my life I've done that way. I remember, like, my dad actually taught me this, right? Because I was nervous about doing my my driving test. And he says to me, he's like, look around. I'll look around. Well, I don't actually look around. I'm just sitting there probably, like, you know, hoping that we don't get in a wreck because my dad drives like a fucking maniac. He's like, look at all the stupid people driving. He's like, you're smarter than probably at least half of them, right? And I think to myself, I'm like, yeah, I hope so. Okay, don't worry about it. And honestly, like, that helped. No, it did. It helped. The truth is, though, going to driving, you're talking about that, I never took a driving test. I never did. No. Never took a driving test. Like, I got my license in Austin, Texas in 2007, 2008, something like that, without taking any sort of a driving test at all. We went up to the DMV. Oh, hey, you did the parent-taught thing. My dad's like, hell yeah, we did. He's like, he know how to drive? He's like, yeah, he sure does. Well, all right, then. Go up there, take a picture. We'll get you your license. And that was all it took. That was it. And they gave me my fucking license for nothing. I never did anything. I didn't take a test. I took one pre-test. And that was it. And the ironic thing about it is all my other friends that had to take the test, they all got in wrecks. I have never wrecked a single car. Right? Knock on wood. I've never wrecked a single car. I've never even been in an accident. I am a very good boy whenever I'm driving. I used to drive with like no insurance and no inspection and like no registration or anything. So we had like this thing, right, where if I got arrested or if I got pulled over, if there was an accident, even if it wasn't my fault, I was still going to go to jail. So I am actually the safest driver. Like, and Cody, my boy Cody, right? Cody that was in jail. Cody that was in jail that voted for Donald Trump in jail. That Cody. That was in the Navy, right? You guys can look at, old videos of him. Like, that's my motherfucking boy. All right. Yeah. So anyway, all right, yeah. So he started driving whenever he was 12, okay? And he didn't get his license until, like, I don't know, like 19 or something like that, or 18. It's never, I mean, why get the license, right? I mean, it's redundant. I mean, who cares about a license? Anyway, so Cody is the same way, right? Because if, like, we got pulled over, Like, we were fucked. It didn't matter, like, oh, we were going the speed limit, officer. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but where's your license, right? And he is the only person that I truly feel safe driving with. Because both of us were trained, never break the law while driving. Don't go 5 miles over the speed limit, go 3. Because if you're going to speed limit, like, anybody that's going to speed limit is a drug dealer, okay? Like, everybody speeds. If you're actually going, if the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, and you're going 25 miles an hour, you're selling drugs. Okay, that's just, it's a fact. All right, guys, I'm sorry, it's a fact. And, well, great, I didn't need that. I guess it's a shared appearance. I mean, you win some, and sometimes you just get something that doesn't matter. So that's nice, at least I got that. So, Cody and I, we have the mentality, do not ever get pulled over for any fucking reason. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm a very, very safe driver. I absolutely am. Oh, fuck me for going fast and selling. Well, that's the thing, dude. Like, and that's a good idea, right? Is like, you have to act like you're not guilty. Like, somebody that's driving the speed limit is guilty of something. There is something that they are doing wrong. And the cops fucking know that. They see somebody going 24 in a 25 mile zone, just pull them over. Pull them over right now. They probably got weed, or, you know, like, they're kidnapping somebody. It's a stolen car or something like that. All right? Everybody speeds unless they've got something to hide. That's just the truth. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. That's so autistic. Look, man, it's the truth. It's the truth. One of your videos talked about how you got caught with expired license, and you had to actually take the test. That's right. So, I did actually have to take the test later on. But you know when I took the test? It was like a year ago. I took my first driving test a year ago at like 26 years old. And I thought it was going to be something really, really complicated. The lady was like, yeah, you want to parallel park? I'm like, no, but I'll do it. And she's like, okay, we'll get behind this car. And I just got behind the car. And it was just like a random neighborhood. I'm like, you know, now what? She's like, that's good. Okay, cool. And that was it. And I never had to worry about parallel park. I never do parallel park. And if I do, I'm a huge dick with this. And, like, let's say the space is like this big, right? I will take up, I will get like right here. I'll get right in the middle. I won't go to here. I won't go to here. I'll get right in the middle. So there's no way that somebody can park behind me. There's no way somebody can park in front of me. There's no way I can get boxed in, because there's no way that I know how to parallel park. Like, I have no fucking idea how to parallel park. I never learned it. Because I did the thing that I did at school, right? Where you learn like 80% of the content, right, of the test, and then you guess on the last 20%. Maybe you get 5% of the percentage that you guess on, right? So you're coming out there with an 85, and you don't even have to do anything that you don't want, right? And this is something like, oh yeah, you guys, oh yeah, you're so much better than me. Everybody does this, okay? It's a calculated loss. And this is something that I used to do in school all the time. Like, I would just, I remember one time there was this gigantic fucking test that I had to take. And this was in, I think, English fucking 14 or English. It was my senior year in English. And she told us that this is like a huge important thing, and it would like cost you, like, you wouldn't be able to graduate if you didn't do this, right? And so I'm like, oh wow, that's not good. And so she printed out progress reports, and she accidentally showed how much this thing would actually count for. And I was like, and it counted for it counted for 20% of your grade. I was like, looks like I'm getting an 80. Perfect. And I did. I just never did that fucking assignment, because everybody else in school was like worried. They were like talking amongst each other. Oh man, how close are you to doing your assignment? And they're like, oh, and they're like, Zach, how much are you doing? I'm like, what? Oh, yo, fuck that, dude. And I never did it, man. I got an 80. Like, I was the worst student in high school. And I loved it. Like, honestly, like, high school was great because nothing I did mattered. Because I knew that I wasn't going to have high enough grades to get into a university. So I just basically planned on going to community college for a year or two ahead of time, right? Then transferring to a university, which is what I did. And so I never really gave a fuck, right? So there were like tons of like books, like The Catcher in the Rye. Ironically, have you guys ever read Catcher in the Rye? Has anybody in here ever read Catcher in the Rye? Well, it sucks. You know how I know that? I read the Spark Notes for it 3 different times. The first time I read it was in junior year. The second time I read it was in senior year. And the third time I read it was in English 1 in community college after they figured out that I lied after I told them that I had already taken English 1. And then they were like, no, you didn't take English 1. And I had them going, man. Like, they were going to transfer, like, all of my credits. They were going to transfer an English 1 credit over to the university, right? Over to the business school. And I was right at the fucking finish line, and they caught me. And I had to go back and I had to take English 1. That class, I love that class. It was the biggest ego boost I ever had in my life. Like, if you ever want to feel good about yourself, go take English 1 or Algebra 1, college algebra, at a community college, and you're going to feel like fucking Einstein. All right? Because the people that have to take that class, and they're like, 26 or something like that, and, they've taken it 2 or 3 times, they're just fucking stupid, right? And like, not like they don't care. No, I mean, like, they're stupid. Like, they're actually dumb. Like, if you ask them, like, how many states were in the U.S., they'd pull out a calculator, all right? Like, it'd be a bad time. And it's also, like, good if you're in a big university, right? I had a friend of mine that was in my old guild. He used to take Psychology 1 every other semester, right? Every fall semester, just to hook up with freshman girls. Like, that's all he would do. And that was basically all he would do in school. It was a 200 IQ idea. I never even thought of that. And even if I did, I would have never done it because I was a bitch. But still, I thought it was funny, right? Because, you have, like, all these girls who are, like, like, all emotional and everything. So, he thought it'd be easy to take advantage of them. And, just... He's a great guy, man. He played a paladin, by the way. And I still remember that guy. That guy was funny as fuck. I'm going to do this one more time. If I don't get it, fuck it. I'm done. Figures. Yeah, he's a great guy. Typical scumbag stuff. Oh, yeah, typical scumbag stuff. People that I know. Rape? Yo, relax, dude. Like, talking to somebody that's got a little bit of problems isn't raping them. Relax.